Hello,
Sure thing.
everybody. It's Ron Story Jr. with SpeakerHub. I am the chief shark catcher, according to Scott, and the chief bottle washer, according to Angela. But I make this meeting go. I am the head of speaker booking at SpeakerHub. We do this call every day at 12 noon, 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Eastern. If you missed a previous call and there's something you want to know about, you can always check them out on speakercoworking.com on YouTube. You should also be able to find them there. This is episode number 102, where we answer your questions about getting booked on podcasts, paid speaking gigs, and press. Brett, what up?
Hey there. So it looks like Zev had subscribed today, and I was actually on his site remotely earlier,
Okay,
but trying to get back on, it says the site
let's
has
see.
been disabled.
Let's see. Let me see what Zeb did. Let's see what we can come through. Mm,
Said my user was disabled, so I thought if I went into his remotely and deleted mine and resent it, that I could get started, and then I couldn't get back on. So it's like,
No,
well,
so what ended up happening? We made a change where anyone, because we went to, um, as I mentioned before, we had gotten rid of the trials and all of those things, right? So
yeah,
anybody who didn't have a subscription, and I think we had given you like a 7 day trial, we just disabled them. We're like, they're just doing nothing. And not you, but just the overall user base. We want to protect it for the paying folks because people sign
correct.
up, they send 3 emails, and we're like, we're just wasting time. So I didn't see anything for Zeb in the anywhere in our Stripe. I haven't seen any payments come in from him. But if you want to send me the email address that maybe he signed up with, um, I'll be able to check that out. But I don't have any subscription information from what I'm looking at right
Okay.
now from anyone at Wexler or from Zev directly.
All right, good enough. Because I earlier I thought I'd seen, but I didn't take a screenshot of it, where they had up subscribed today in the billing, but I can't prove that. So in the
Yeah, I don't
chat
have it.
is his. Okay, fair enough.
Yep. Yep. I mean, no, we
Just
would
double
welcome
checking.
you all on board if you were ready to roll. Um, Definitely. Let me see. Here, let me show you really quickly. There it is. No results found.
Very good.
Got it?
All
Cool.
right.
Yep. So good to see everybody. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Scott, what you'll notice about us, we are what you call a show your work company. We don't hide anything. We're going to show you. So whether it's how we get people booked, anything that's not private or security based that could put anyone at risk, we have no problem with saying, hey, this is how we did it. This is how we're doing it over here. This is how this person who's a client of ours, how they worked. Because we think that in this industry, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors of people claiming that they've done stuff that they haven't really done. And I think the best way to do this is to lead by example. So we're very straightforward with leading by example.
Awesome. No, it's cool to be. I'm glad that I stumbled onto this. So thank you for letting me crash and learn.
No, this is where people come in. So um yeah, I mean, AJ, what up? Bart, good to see you. Any questions from you guys? So here's what happens. Different people come in at different times. Some people come on just to do their pitching. They have no comments. They don't want to learn anything. They just want to get their work done because it's co-working. Um, so if you have any other questions about anything, how we do it, here's the time to ask.
I don't really. I feel like I'm early in um, this next transition for me. So it's hard to know
Do you
what I
do any
don't.
writing?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, did you go to my LinkedIn profile by chance?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
No
Because
worries.
sometimes when people paste it in, it doesn't paste the actual
Yeah,
URL. But go ahead.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm an academic who's now switching into the corporate world. So
Well,
I'm
here's
used,
why I asked.
yeah.
Because over here, if I come into media and I just type in gender into media, right? So now you can write for whatever, gender, parents, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you can get an article in these. We help you to get writing credentials, not get featured, right? Like Dr. Lulu is a writer for those magazines. She's not just getting featured, right? And they pay $1, $2 a word for those articles. So there are people in our group that are making $5,000, $6,000 a month just writing articles on their topic. They never go speak,
Yeah,
right?
I'm a writer, so I've written a lot. Yep.
Yeah. So
Excuse me.
go ahead, Ange.
Can we hear what Scott does for us?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I forgot to, we've been
Yeah.
talking for the last half hour. I forgot to introduce him to everyone else. So our tradition is we introduce new people to everyone. Scott, my bad, bro. You
Oh,
want to
you're
tell
fine.
everybody what you do?
You're fine. So, hey, everybody. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist. I've been in the field of, child and adolescent psychiatry for about 16 years. Specifically, though, I have been working with a very subspecialist population, the gender diverse and trans population, which I've been doing this work since 2008 at the very first gender clinic in the United States at Boston Children's, and am the lead author for the international guidelines. So I've written the guidelines on how to approach this. I'm currently in Ohio. I've been in 3 different clinics, but I just left my job after the government of Ohio unfortunately passed laws that are banning the care that my program actually has been providing. So I'm going off on my own, and I'm developing a virtual institute. We're still landing on the name. That's why it's like hard for me to go full force and marketing myself because I don't even have the name of the company yet. But um, it's going to be both a clinical service across as many states as possible, taking a very balanced, neutral approach on the subject. And so that's going to be the brand. It's going to be about um, the taking the culture war and basically turning it into like a middle, neutral, balanced argument. Since as a psychiatrist, I'm not very popular with people on either extreme of this. And it's hard to talk about because it's become very like all or nothing. But in reality, when one side of the political spectrum is calling me a mutilator, but then the other side of the political spectrum is calling me an interrogator, right? So which one is it? And I think that if you Google me or you look at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see where I'm positioned. And I've been featured in New York Times Magazine. And now that I'm off on my own, just trying to figure out what's the best way to get the message out there.
No, it makes sense. Yeah. So we can help you. I mean, we got
Awesome.
more stages than anywhere, and you get to decide. Like, we're not in the middle. We don't take any fees. Like, we're not taking any commissions from any of your gigs or anything. You just pay the
Cool.
monthly fee, make as much money as you want, have as much impact as you want, pitch
Yeah.
whatever stages you want to be on. Um, our job is to be an amplifier of speakers, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, we're not in a judgmental position to say what side is right or what side is wrong. Our job is to give you the opportunity to empower your own voice,
Yeah.
and that's what we do.
Well, I was telling Ron that for me, a very important part of a speaking gig is going to be about safety. Unfortunately, with this issue, it has to be about safety. I don't want to be giving a talk to people that are coming in wanting to fight. Like, I'm the authority on the issue, right? Like, you're coming to learn from me if you have a sense of curiosity on the subject, right? Of course, disagreement is welcomed. This is a complex topic. The idea of kids making permanent decisions, that's complex, and people are allowed to have opinions. But if you're kind of coming into or setting me up to be on a debate stage or trying to catch me in something and take part of what I say and put it on social media, that's not the type of speaking gig that I'd be interested in.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I don't think any of us want that on any topic.
Right.
Just the
But
controversial.
this topic is seriously, there's, like
Oh, yeah.
safety concerns for a lot of my colleagues and myself. So we
Oh,
just want
100%. No, I get it, but I don't think anybody wants to be ambushed either.
yeah, that's
Right.
true.
So in the same way, again, like I said, we give you the ability to have your own discretion as to what's right, what's wrong. We don't force you onto any stage. We give you the right to contact the stages that are friendly to you and friendly to your mission. It's my prayer that nobody ever gets injured because of a speaking gig that they booked using our software.
Right. No one was
That's-
hurt in the making of this speech. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, like sticks and stones can break my bones, but words
Right.
will never hurt me. What happened to that?
Well, like someone secretly recorded me at an academic conference, and then I was making a joke, right? Like I was being
And you
sarcastic.
want to pause it so we can tell this story and we don't put it on here?
Oh,
Just out of
thanks.
respect. So
Hey, Ron, how are
hey,
you?
I'm doing well. I met with Omar this morning.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
someone talking
introduction.
so highly about you. You are very famous in Dubai now.
Oh, that is. I gotta go to Dubai
He
now.
was
Now
he
they
was
know.
talking so highly about you. I said, I told you. He's a good friend of mine. Actually, he is coming. I don't know if you see me. Oh, where's my camera? I'm at home today. Oh, I look horrible. Um, yeah. So he's coming to DC to visit his brother. I'm doing laundry while I'm talking to you. But he left me a message from Dubai. He said, Seyran, he's so wonderful. He's so professional. I said, I told you, I don't make connection if the other person is not good. He's really good and he's doing great. Yeah. So I'm so
Yeah, we
happy.
had a great conversation at like 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Somehow he was able to schedule on my calendar. I'm like, who? But the daylight savings time
Yes,
caused
he's
the
in
shift, and
Dubai.
I'm like,
Yeah, he's in Dubai, and
morning.
you see his pages. I mean, he's very busy, but he happened to be coming to DC on summer, so I invited him for dinner and lunch. My husband want to meet him as well, because my goal. Ultimately, I want to have a speaking gig in Dubai, so I have to have friend in Dubai as well. So yeah, I'm glad it's worked out, and he's going to be on the summit, right?
Yeah, he's one of the speakers. We had a really good conversation.
Great. So
That'll be cool.
happy. So happy. So
Yep.
happy.
Thanks for the introduction. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
of course. You deserve all good, Ron. You are a wonderful person. Role
Thank
model
you.
to a lot of people. You are such a role model.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other topics we want to talk about? Any topics in particular? Thoughts on the 12 o'clock topic? I know several of you all were here for 12 when we went over the spectrum of pain in solving a problem, right? When you're trying to sell a product or a service, you gotta kind of know where you live on that spectrum. Was that new? Was it old? I know AJ and I have talked about that several times. AJ,
Yeah, I would like for you to talk about the questionnaire that you went through the questionnaire to get information, but we've seen a lot of speakers who need like an event right now, or they need to sell immediately, or they're trying. So can you talk about
yeah.
the
So
urgency versus like the purpose of that versus
yeah. So
money?
here's the thing that I suggest to most speakers. Speaking is kind of like at the beginning, it's kind of like driving Uber, right? When you go to Uber's website and they're looking for drivers, it never says, "Hey, we're hiring full-time drivers." It's something that you do to supplement something else that you're already doing. And as long as you're doing it in that way, it's a lot safer of an industry to build and to survive in, because you could start establishing your IP, your point of view on a particular topic, start building your audience all at the same time before you say, well, you know what, I'm doing this. And this isn't Scott, but I'm going to use someone else, where someone is doing a different job and then they decide to become a speaker having never spoken before, even at their regular job. So when they jump off that porch, in order for them to land safely, they probably should have started speaking while they were at that job more often, right? So that when they go out on their own, they've already built up the audience. They may have a product suite or something of that sort. The problem is that a lot of people don't do that. They get emotionally exhausted with their current job and then they leave. And upon leaving, they say, yeah, I'm going to be a speaker. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, okay, what types of gigs? Well, I need a gig next month because I got to pay the mortgage and I got to do this. And I'm like, oh, the conferences that pay you the money you want are 6 to 9 months out. They're like, but that ain't what my speaking coach said. He said I could get booked next week. I got a good story. I'm like, well, you should call him, right? If he's going to make that claim, he should be able to back it up. But over here, here's how we do it, right? So I think that the best thing is to understand that you're in a business, that this isn't a speaking job, right? A speaking job is I'm a corporate trainer, I'm a corporate facilitator, I'm an ambassador, and they send me around to represent the company. So I'm always speaking, but I didn't generate any of those leads. When you go out on your own, you got to do your own fishing. You're out there, you got to do the outreach. Some of the folks that were sending you gigs may not be sending you gigs no more because you're no longer a part of the team at the job. So you got to go out here and build these relationships, or hopefully bring those relationships with you that you had while you were practicing at the job. Now, I'll give you a great example. One of my friends, who's a great speaker, worked at Facebook for 6, 7 years. Great guy, gentleman, worked at Facebook. If he wanted to talk about ads as a speaker or marketing, he was booked like that. Oh, you work at Facebook? Dude, come. Everybody wants to know Facebook ads. Cool, right? He left Facebook. So he can't say, oh, I'm such and such at Facebook. He has to say, I used to be at Facebook. That's a different conversation. Let me tell you the power of a brand and why you probably should stay at the job. I'm going to tell you what happened. I told my mom that I owned a software company, and she mentioned it to one of her friends, and her friend said, oh, you got a software company? My grandson works at Amazon. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool, right? And I'm thinking, oh, was he a software developer? Does he live out in Washington or on the West Coast? She said, no, he drives one of the trucks. He could probably help you since he works at a software company too. It ain't the same thing, baby. Yeah, he does work at Amazon. And Amazon is a software company. But what he do at Amazon and what I do at SpeakerHub, we ain't doing it. He delivering boxes. I'm delivering dreams. Two different things, right? I'm delivering messages over here, right? So, but in her mind, the brand of Amazon meant that no matter what he was doing, he could teach me something about how to grow my business. Now, people, yeah, exactly. You teach me how to drive, right? But people make that assumption all the time when you're at the gig. So it's better to build the diving board you're going to jump off to get the propulsion that you need before you belly flop, right? So that's my suggestion to most folks, is that you should think of speaking at the beginning as kind of a part-time thing that you're transitioning into until you've built a strong enough platform to be able to provide your products and services. I know they're going to hate me for saying that, right? What did Scott just say? I be getting distracted by this daggone box. Oh,
No,
yeah, we got you. We'll
I
follow you on
was trying
LinkedIn.
not to distract anybody. Yeah,
No, you're good. You're good. No, it's Angie's job to look at it. I just be seeing the bot pop up. I got you on LinkedIn.
I just
What?
want to hop in real quick. Scott, I just contacted our video person, and so we got you covered.
We got you. We got you with us.
yeah.
So,
You know, people's CVs show, you know, the list of talks they've given. So it's just not everybody knows to look for a CV on a LinkedIn profile.
no, makes sense. So the gist is, I think that that's where most speakers have to start, understanding that you should be prepared for the speaking business just like you're prepared for every other business, right? You should have a game plan going into it, knowing how you're going to start getting booked. The survey that we spoke about this morning is based upon how do you better speak the language of the people that you're trying to help. Because if you're going to be speaking, you should speak the language. Like you should know the language of your audience so that you can be both sympathetic, empathetic, and whatever other thetic there is. I don't know all those words, but I know those two. And I know those two are really important in impacting people with the words that you use, being able to better relate to them. So that's the gist of that survey, Ange, and hopefully that helped out. But I think if someone is looking for that tomorrow, to say, hey, I'm going to do this tomorrow because I got to pay the rent April 1st, wrong strategy. You better go to Uber. You're better off going driving Uber. That's what I did. I drove Uber, right? I delivered groceries, and I was way overqualified, but my ego and the dream meant more, but the dream meant more than my ego, right? So I was willing to go deliver groceries at night to build the software company. After we bought the first one, we had to pay the developers to make the conversions, right? See you later, AJ. So for those who are listening, if you're out there and you're trying to make that transition, you don't want to just speak to get, don't just want to get paid to speak. At the beginning, you may not have the reputation or be a thought leader just yet in order to command enough money. But you can speak to get paid. If you developed a great product or service that solves a problem, people will pay to make that go away, even if you're terrible at delivering the message. Let me give you a great example. There was a guy who was the greatest Bible salesman in the world, and nobody ever understood how he could do it. So one day, his manager walked out with him and said, I'm going to shadow you to see how you're selling 15 to 20 of these Bibles every day when I can't get most people to sell 20 in a month. So the manager walks out with him, and the guy goes up to the house. He rings the doorbell. Man comes to the door. How can I help you? He said, sir, I'm selling Bibles. Would you like to buy one, or would you like me to read it to you? And that's how he sold the Bibles, because that person had to make a decision at that point, right? Now, your weakness can also be your strength. In this case, that was what it was. But we just got to get out there. We got to get on more stages. We got to figure it out. And I think a lot of times we get out there, we're just not doing enough. We're not in front of enough people. We're not presenting our opportunities to enough people, but we're definitely not usually presenting our products. Does that make sense? So I want to help us to develop a product that you can promote despite your weaknesses. That guy had a weakness, but it still didn't stop him from promoting his product, which was some version of the Bible or some religious book. So any other questions around where we're going with SpeakerHub? We want to empower speakers to get on more stages. We want to empower speakers to get their message out to more people.
I'm going to head off,
they
everyone.
have the impact they want.
It was so nice to meet you. I have to head off. I have someone at the.
All right. Talk to you later. See you tomorrow. Yep. So, but this is what we do. This is what we do every day, all day. Yeah, we're going to get more speakers booked. Ange, Bart, Seyron. Other questions?
Yeah. You talked about something. You talked about like you already talked about at 12. What is just the bottom line? If you can just share that, because I missed.
Yep, I'll share that with you. So let me add Scott here. Oh, we're already connected. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, we were connected from the other day. So basically here it is. Let me see. So basically, say, Ron, in order to help more of your clients in your audience, you have to learn to survey them, right? So that you can speak the language and talk to the problems that they're running into. A lot of speakers or consultants are solving a problem that is consultant assumed. Let me tell you what I mean by that. It's, I know Bart needs more speaking gigs, so I'm just going to tell Bart to send more emails without giving him the context of why he should be sending more emails. I'm like, Bart, man, dude, you ain't getting booked for speaking gigs, just email people. And he like, man, what you talking about? Like, no, man, just email them. Just find an email address and email the folks. And he's like, dude, how am I supposed to find these email addresses? Like, it's just me giving him an assumption that this is the problem that he's running into. Where it may not be that Bart is running into a problem of needing more speaking gigs. He may just want more exposure, which means he needs to be on more podcasts, right? So by listening to them and hearing what they're complaining about and what problem they're willing to pay to make go away, we can better serve them using the language that they use. So when one of the ways we do this, even with SpeakerHub, at the beginning, our local associations, we called them small groups. And as I talked to more speakers, they were like, man, I see you got large groups and small groups. Which one of them got the associations in it? Talking to somebody else. Man, I see the large groups and the small groups. You know, I used to get my corporate gigs from the associations. Where would I find the associations? And I would find myself explaining, oh, the associations, that's the small groups. But that's how I thought about it. I thought about it as large group and small group. Well, we even named the product that, large group and small group. But that's not how they thought about it. They thought about it as associations, conferences, media outlets, and podcasts. So we had to make the adjustment to speak their language. So this survey helps you to do this, Seyron. You basically are going to look in your phone, find family and friends that you can survey. You're not trying to sell them anything. So they don't even need to be potential customers, but they should be in the industry of people that you're trying to help. So I know you want to help, if I remember, women that are kind of in the middle age.
Midlife. Yeah, midlife.
Right?
Yeah,
So
midlife. Yeah.
Women that are in midlife to find the dream that they always have been
Yeah,
looking for.
monetize their skills. Monetize their skills.
Yep. So if I were using this, I would say, hey, as I mentioned, I'm giving serious consideration to helping women to monetize their skills. Before I make this decision of adding this as a side business, I would appreciate hearing your thoughts on the coaching industry and what you think of me becoming a business coach. I just want to ask you some basic questions about your personal experience with coaches like this or people who give advice, right? And then the first questions are here for a reason. Number one, we need to be able to track the answers that you get, but it's questions that they're already used to answering. Get their full name, their job title, and some of this you can fill in, but you want to start with safe questions. How did you find the lead, right? And then you basically start with these very broad questions and you funnel down. So tell me about your experience working with coaches. What do you think a coach should do for you? In regards to previous contacts with coaches, what have they done that you've liked the most? Or what have they done that you've liked the least? Who do you primarily rely on for coaching? How did you choose that person? Now, we just read the questions. We don't send this to them. We don't say, hey, can you fill this out and get it back to me? Right?
It's
When they
like a
answer-
brainstorming, Ron. It's like you do brainstorming with them. You read it and like a discussion, brainstorming.
Yeah, well, you're surveying. You're not brainstorming because you're not going to give any feedback.
But when you say survey, but they are answering the question while you are telling them, right?
Right. They're going to answer the question. So I would ask you, this is how it would sound. Let's role play it really quick. Hey, Saran, as I mentioned when I sent you the text message, I'm trying to survey 200 speakers to think about whether we should add coaching to SpeakerHub instead of just doing these daily calls. Before I make that decision, I would appreciate hearing your thoughts about the coaching industry and what you think about us adding that product.
Okay,
I'd like
so
to
mine
begin
is
by
still
asking you
clear.
some very simple
Okay.
questions about your
Okay.
experience with people who sell coaching or other advice-based products. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
And then all I do is I go into the next one. So tell me about your experience with the coaching industry. And then I be quiet and let you
Mhm.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Mhm.
one of the things we went through this entire survey earlier today with Robert,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I had some people doing this, and they were just laughing because we had some friends that were doing this, and they were taking 30 minutes. They was like, "Man, I don't know how you get 20 of these done a day." I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "This take 5 minutes." They were like, "It didn't take me 5 minutes. It was a long time." I said, "All right, let's do it. Role play it with me." And they would ask the first question, and let's do it. Ange, so tell me about your experience in the coaching industry. Go ahead. Come on. You was one of those people, but go ahead. See,
I
Ange,
coming.
Ange, I'll
Okay, I'm
let Ange tell you. Go ahead,
good.
give the perspective about what you did. You was one of them. I wasn't gonna throw you
Yeah,
under the bus,
thank
but
you for not throwing me under the bus. What I have a tendency to do is to affirm whatever someone says after they say it and then add a little bit to it. So if Ron would say, tell me about, or I guess I would be asking the question. So Ron, tell me about the coaching industry and your experience.
oh yeah, I mean, dude, I've had baseball coaches, I've had bowling coaches, football coaches my whole life. So I don't know why
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to coach a business.
That's really smart because everybody needs coaches.
And I'm like, no, be quiet. Go to
That's
the
what
next
I would
question.
say. Right. I would just be like, yes, you're right. And add a little bit. I've had coaches too, and my coaches are great. So what challenges did you face with the coaches you've had in the past?
And then I say something, and she going, and I'm like, your answer is longer than mine. What are we doing? So we would record these. I'm like, look, record one of them so I can see what you're saying. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you talking about all this stuff? Just stick to the script.
So you make a good point, practice. It's okay to practice with someone. If you're like me and you're chatty and love to connect with people and make them feel good when you're talking to them, it would be helpful to do just a couple role plays so that you get to the point.
Yeah, which is why I like to role play on the thing so people can see. Just read what's on the paper. You can change one or two words in the sentence or use your own style of getting into it. But all of that, girl, yeah, this was like that. I remember one time, shut up. This is why you can't close the deal. You got to just stick to the script, right? So that's what this is about because this is strategically set up to make them more comfortable as they start answering the questions. If right off the bat I say, so tell me a product you would pay to make go away, they like, calm down. Wait a minute, right? Let me answer some more generic stuff. And then before you know it, it's okay, well, what's your current challenge? What's an area you wish you had coaching for? We didn't ask what area you want to coach for that you wish. Everybody can wish. What's your dream car, Sharon?
BMW.
Which one?
I hadn't decided yet, to be honest. I
See?
got to do more research.
See, everybody can wish. She ain't got no commitment to that wish for that BMW. She ain't say a BMW X5i 4 X drive. She ain't get all specific like me, white with a peanut butter interior. And she no. I just want a BMW. Yeah, that's where we want to start her at. Right? Because then when she said, oh yeah, BMW, cool, what color? You see, I can
I
get more
want
specific.
to.
Right? You want a truck or you want a car? No, I want the convertible. Cool. You want the hard top or the soft top? Now I'm building it in the background. Now I know exactly how much this car gonna cost. But I couldn't say, tell me the exact extreme model number, VIN number of the BMW you want to buy. Does that make sense? So it's our job as product creators and salespeople to be able to get the answers we want comfortably, right? But you ain't gotta every time they answer pat them on the back like Edge be doing. Oh, poor baby! Like get out of here. Any thoughts or feedback on that piece of advice while we're here?
So it seems like you want to keep it basic, simple, and conversational.
Yes, it should be basic, simple, and surveyish. Ange was being conversational.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, like servable, like suitable to be surveyed.
Yeah,
So
it's
out
a
of the
survey because you're
10,
going to take that data
yeah,
and be able to share the answers,
yeah. So
right?
it's like if you have 10 women in the room, you can tell it was 50-50 or it was 80-20. So
Exactly.
80 sold on it. It's okay, yes or no, yes and no. So like while they're
Yep.
talking, you just marking yes, yes, no, 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 no. At the
There
end,
it is.
out of the 10, he said, oh, 5 said, oh, it's 50-50 now. So I know. I did something you recommended. I did something last week similar to this. Same thing. I'm gonna have 5 women. I told them I'm not gonna charge them. I just need productive, truthful feedback about the outline of my coaching courses. They're gonna come in 1 hour coaching, 4 times in a month, which is the 28 days, and they're gonna give me the feedback. And upon that feedback, because it's related to my book as well, so I can be outlining the book chapter and the coaching. So it's similar to this because you're gonna hear exactly what is your ideal client are chasing or what is your ideal client are looking for. And you did that when you recruit us for the Speaker Hub. You were asking those questions. You were like, what is stopping you from speaking? Why you are not being on podcast? What is that? Like you want feedback, and upon that feedback you start scaling up the platform, and you made a lot of changes from the feedback we gave you.
100%.
Yeah,
That's called product development. So
yeah,
if you look at my title at SpeakerHub, it's the head of product.
yeah,
Why? Because I'm out hand-to-hand combat with the customers on this side, and then I got to go justify it to the dev team why we need to move this up over their stuff. They be like, "But we thinking," I'm like, "Dude, you ain't talked to nobody that's a speaker. You got a great idea. But we need to move it this way, right?" No, they come up with a lot of great things that I didn't think about, but the main things were things that I got from just talking with you guys. Does this make sense? But that's what that survey does. It gives you an opportunity to get what we call customer development, meaning that my business is developed by the customers. If I had a soul food restaurant and I gave Bart some ham hock greens, cornbread, candy yams, and a turkey leg, and I bring it to him, he said, "Man, this stuff's salty." Cool. Which part? Just the greens. Cool. Now I know what to do. I can go say, "Hey, let me see if we can make up another batch that has less salt in it." Right? So then I bring it back out. And he's like, "Yeah, this is right up the alley." So I got Bart's opinion, but before I change my entire recipe, I'm gonna ask other people. I'm gonna put a survey card on the table to see if, because if everybody else think that they salty, they probably want to change too. That's how you build product. Does that make sense? But this is the origin of it. So you start with these broad questions, and then you get into their challenges, and then they tell you how do you sell it to them. And then you ask them about, well, hey, if we built this, is this something you're trying to make go away right away? Like a broken leg? Or is this something you're like, man, I'll go get that checked out next week? And you may forget about it. It's kind of like a dental cleaning. A lot of people don't go get their teeth cleaned until they hurt, right? But you should be going every, what is it, 4 months? It used to be every 6 months. Now they trying to get people to go 3 times a year. So they tell you to go every 4 months, right? But that's the thing. It's this, right? So then at the bottom, this is the most important section. Let me stay on this for a second, right? So if you have the person that they've answered all of these questions, why do you think we asked this question? What did you think about the survey? Sharon, why would I ask that question?
Pretty much to find out whether or not if the information that you were asking, if it resonated or related to the person.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they can
That's,
just think, oh, this is not going to do any good.
yep. That's one thing. But let me show you another thing. You ever had somebody ask you for referrals? You ever told them no, you said I'm gonna get back to you? You ever did that before? Everybody has,
Yeah.
right? We all did that, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
if we didn't think that I wanted to sick this pit bull on them to go, hey, go talk to my friends and try to sell them, I ain't want to put my friends through that. So I'd be like, man, I'll send you a lead. I mean, if somebody comes up, I'll send it to you. Is that fair? So here's what this does. This is really to disarm the person to get referrals. Because let me role play it. Hey, Sharon, what did you think about the survey?
Oh, I thought that it asked some really good questions.
Cool. If I decide to start to do this, would you have any objection with meeting with me sometime in the future if what we do ends up solving your problem?
No, I don't have any problem with it at all.
Okay. So that's called getting the double affirmative. The first thing I got was that I got the affirmative that the survey was fair and harmless. Right? Oh man, this is good. No, this was great. I never thought about these things. Well, I didn't have to even give any advice. She just listened to herself. Entrepreneurs are the least listened to people on earth. If you listen to them for 5 minutes, they love you. Why? Because they in their own world fighting these business demons by themselves with everybody telling them it's not going to work. So just listening to what they're going through, you don't even have to have any advice. There's no advice in the survey. Man, that was great. Cool. Well, if I decide to solve this problem, not do you want to buy it? If I decide to solve it, should I call you back? Yeah, you just told me it was the worst thing and you would pay this much for it and you wanted this to go away by Tuesday. So not only did you tell me that the survey was safe, but you also told me that you're willing to meet with me yourself. Right? Cool. One last question. As I mentioned before, I'm trying to survey 200 people. Would you be willing to help me to complete the survey by suggest a few people that I can ask the same questions to? Where did I offer for them to buy anything? I don't even have a product. If I offer a product or service, when I get down here, basically what I'm saying is, are you willing to tell me some other people that you know want to buy this so I can say that you sent me over there? And the answer is going to be no. Right? The answer is going to be no. You see how just that one thing changes everything? If I offer to sell, they will not give me the referral, even though they agreed to allow me to come back to sell to them. Right? So once you ask that question, what do you say next? So let's role play, Sharon. You start right here at the top. Let me make an extra line so you can see it a little better. Can you see it? You muted.
No, I was just saying, let me bring them to my computer because
Here, I can zoom in some more. Let me zoom in some more. This big enough?
I can see it now.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was on my phone before. Okay, you said start off with the first question.
Yep,
So what
right
did you
here.
think about the survey?
Well, I thought it was good. I mean, I had never thought about these things before. Like, I always, kind of deal with the problem, but I never really address how I'm going to solve it. And this made me think about it.
Okay. And if I do decide to do this, would you have an objection to discussing your situation with me sometime in the future?
No, I mean, if you can solve this, you got a customer. Like, I'm just being real with you. I'm tired of dealing with this. Nobody's been able to solve it up to this point.
All right. And so one final question, would you be willing to help me complete this survey by suggesting a few people of whom I might ask the same questions?
Mm, yeah, I got no problem with that. This was cool, right?
Okay,
Now,
okay.
let me tell you why I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you wait 5 seconds and the person start talking again.
Okay.
They get nervous. They be like,
You
but
give
then,
it
I mean,
a
it's the same questions, girl. Come on. You gotta get comfortable with the uncomfortable silence. You did it perfectly. You just didn't say nothing. You was like, wait on them. And that's what you do. You don't say nothing. And the first person that talk loses. Okay. Just being real with you. The minute that you say, well, yeah, it's just like this, you know what they're gonna say? Well, okay, I'll email it to you. What's your email address? I'll email it to you. And they bail on you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you just gotta be quiet. Hey, most people can't be quiet for 10 seconds. So you just sit there and be like, just say A, B, C, G, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and they're gonna say something. Yeah, just call say Ron. Just think, because they're not used to the awkward silence, you know. We've all been in that situation before, probably. But any thoughts about that? Do you think you could ask those questions?
Yeah, I'm just coming on. I hadn't been on that long. So this is something that that you all are doing and you're asking us. Is this something that we would like to do?
Well, so basically, here's what we earlier today at the 12 o'clock call, we talked about how do you develop a product, right? But you have to develop a product from the perspective of the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to find out, you don't want to sell something that people aren't hungry for. So we've all seen the person, you know, in St. Louis, downtown on the weekends, you drive downtown at 1 a.m. It's a man on the corner of 10th and Washington with a hot dog stand. And he's selling $10 Polish sausages at 1:30 in the morning. The same $3 Polish sausage you get at Walmart with 10 in a pack at 1 in the afternoon, he sell one of them for $10 at night. And he got lined down the street. Why? Because he got a hungry audience. They drunk, they tired, they don't feel like going to get in their car and waiting in the drive-through. So they give him that $10 for that hot dog. Make sense? But if he didn't understand that his audience was hungry, he couldn't sell the product. So we want you presenting a product that people already want. Let me give you a great example. A guy told me this story, and it changed everything. He said, Ron, you don't want to be in the well digging business. I said, what? He said, a well is when you got to go in the back with a shovel and dig all the dirt to finally get to the water. You want to be in the business of streams. You want to be able to go to the river, take your cup, stick your water in there, and just take a little bit of the money out. Right? So, as a financial advisor, I didn't want to have to show people how they can start budgeting in order to find the money to pay for what I wanted them to invest in. I'm telling them you got to give up this, got to stop drinking Starbucks, you got to stop buying Louis Vuitton, and I'm digging a hole for myself. I just may as well bury myself in it because they ain't doing none of what I'm about to suggest. But I needed to find the person who was already investing $1,000 a month. And I say, man, you already got that 1,000 over there. Keep the 800, which is what you know, but let me get 200 of it to try it out. You see how the stream, he was already investing. I just needed a little bit of it. If you think about where we're going here, I tried digging the wells for speakers. Hey, we can teach you how to pitch. We could do that. No, I'm better off just finding the people who want the lifetime accounts that are already pitching and they want it, they're already doing. I didn't have to change Bart's behavior. I made it easier for Bart to pitch because he was already searching for the stuff. I just needed to give him an easier route. I didn't have to change, say, Ron's behavior. I just gave her a way to do what she was already doing easier. Does that make sense? That's sticking your cup in the stream that's already flowing versus trying to say, hey, go back there and dig through these tiles on the floor with this little bitty wrench. Yeah, good luck, bro. It ain't gonna work. So that's really how you want to, especially at the beginning, you want to reach the people that are already in pain. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So there it is. That's how you do it. Did that answer your question about why we did the survey?
Oh, yes, it does. Mm-hmm.
Because when you develop a product, that's what you want. You want to know exactly what to give to them, how much they willing to pay, what's the outcome, what does it look like for it to be a win, right? How would you market to yourself? If you was in my shoes, what product would you be selling to yourself? That is a great question, right? Sharon, if you was in my shoes, what product would you sell yourself?
Did you say Seiran or Sharon? All
Sharon,
right.
I wasn't gonna say nothing. I made my statement. I was gonna be quiet till tomorrow.
Y'all had a stare down. I felt like I was in a country western movie.
That's it. But
No,
guess
it's
what?
like
Looking at
it's
each
all
other.
rhyme. It's
I
all
told
rhyme
you,
like
people
Ron,
can't deal with
Seiran.
the awkward silence. Did you see that? Say Ron said, look, ain't neither one of them gonna give in. I give in. Hey, was you talking to me or her?
Because it's all rhyme. It's Ron, Sharon, and
My
Seiran.
bad.
Like there's another lady.
Darren, which product would you offer yourself? Say Ron, which one would you offer to yourself? Both of y'all. But you see that awkward silence?
Yeah.
Say Ron was like, I can't deal with this.
No.
So
Oh my
what product would you sell yourself, Sharon? Sharon Brown, Sharon D. Brown, #1 self-carepreneur, she, her, hers.
Well, one thing that I want to say before I answer that question is kind of like with that awkward silence, like when it comes to self-care, like for what I do and what I envision to do is to help people work through that. You know what I'm saying? Because I really believe like everything is self-care. So it's kind of like that thing where you feel uncomfortable. Because even I was sitting here, I was like, I don't think he said Sharon. Is that other lady up there? I'm here clicking on the thing. So it's kind of like, what are the things that we do like when we're uncomfortable? And I just kind of wanted to
Oh yeah,
put
no, I
that
think
out.
you hit it right on the point. That was perfect. Because I'm like, I'm not saying nothing. I'm over here talking about Kobe Bryant versus Michael Jordan. I'm gonna sit there and wait. Somebody else gonna say something before I say another word. Because if I said, Sharon, I'm talking to you, nope, I broke my rule. No, we're gonna sit this one out. Say Ron got tired first. All right.
Funny.
So, but go ahead and answer the question. I don't have anything to sell you. I just want to
Yeah,
walk you through
yeah.
thought
Yeah,
process.
for me, I would say one of the things that I would sell myself, if I had the ability to do it, is understanding the underbelly of business, if that makes sense. It's because to be honest, well, you have a lot of experience, so you do a really good job of it here, but it's almost kind of like those baby steps, because sometimes people say things like the big picture, but sometimes for us who's new, we need something that's really the baby steps. So I would sell something, in that category.
Yep. No, that makes sense. So I'll give you the answer to that. And you don't even have to pay for it. Business is like riding a bike. You can't really learn to do it by reading a book. Eventually, you got to get on the bike, right? And business is really someone with a problem and someone with a solution that they're willing to give to this person in exchange for money or something of value. That's called bartering. That's all you really need. You need a problem, a solution, and a payment method, right? A problem and a solution and no payment is a charity, right? But a problem, solution, and a payment method, that's a business. And it don't have to be very complicated. It could be the kid selling lemonade, right? The complication comes, how do you find the customers? What this does, it eliminates all the need to run Facebook ads. It eliminates all the needs to talk to strangers. Tell you something, this kid from from Canada hit me up. And it was so funny. He said, "Hey, I'm interviewing speakers. I'm gonna bring it up here." And I recorded this call because it was so incredible. And it was like an incredible call. And I said, "Dude, who taught you this?" He said, "One of my marketing people learned this from somebody years ago." I'm like, "Yeah, he probably was one of my folks." Right? Let's see, speakers. Let's see. It was this kid, his name, I'm looking him up now. And it was just an interesting conversation to have someone do the things that I do to me. And I mean, he had the entire do the affirmative, he did all of it. I'm like, bro, like who taught you this? Like, I want to talk to them. That's how interesting it was. I can't find his name, but I'm looking through him. I'm going to find him. But it was a student, a young kid. He was like, "Yo, I'm a student here and I'm working on a marketing project." And the great thing about his opening email was because he said he was a student, I'm a sucker. So I'm like, "All right, man, I'll just go help you." And let's see here. Watch this. Look at this. And I mean, he followed the technique to the T. "Hey, Ron, I know your time is valuable, so I'll get straight to the point." Cool. That is classic cold email stuff. "As a student of interaction design at this college, I'm currently in the Venture Lab program, and I'm researching an idea to help speakers with audience engagement. I've been deep diving into challenges speakers face, and I think your insight might be valuable. Your journey, your struggles, your aspirations, your insights will help me to shape something meaningful. If you just have 30 minutes, I would love to learn about your experience as a speaker, just as a genuine conversation about the challenges you've come across." "Hey, man, how's it going?" "Good, blah, blah, blah." "Sure, I got 10 minutes, right?" And I'm like, "I got 10 minutes right now." Like, because I don't like them setting up meetings. I'd be like, "Dude, let's just do it now. If you really want to do it, you'll stop what you're doing to work on my schedule." So we hopped on and he says, "I really appreciate it. Hey, can I get the meeting summary for you?" Because he was doing it manually. He didn't have the actual survey. Now, let me show you something. Let's go back. Again, we practice what we preach. Let's go back to 2020. Right? All of these messages from 2020, they're all the same. "We're in the same LinkedIn group. We love your expert feedback on the project I'm working on. I'm creating a search engine for speakers, still in the early stages. Would love your feedback to show it to you. Are you open to 10 minutes? Same thing. Mine was just a little bit more concise. But I sent this to a lot of folks. I surveyed a gang of people and they gave me the meetings. Oh, these are RJ Jackson, Sandra Hopkins, Kimberly Porter. All of these people gave me meetings. Right? So this is what we're doing. We're not just tossing this out there. Right? This is how you do it. You reach out and you ask, and I ask you these questions. And that's how we ended up building a lot of the features that you see inside of SpeakerHub. Does that make sense? Right? So, but yeah, that's what you're seeing. Questions, feedback, comments?
This is good. Thank you very much, Ron. It's great.
Oh yeah, I'm here to help. I mean, because we gotta be able to solve the real problems. So to give you the kind of the scenario, Shannon, the origin of this is the two types of pain that a person is in. Right? If you broke your leg right now, how urgent would it be for you to get to a hospital?
Oh, very urgent.
Yeah, right. If you chipped your fingernail, how urgent would it be for you to go to the doctor?
No, not so much, if any.
Yeah, because the pain is different, right? And if someone said, "Girl, I think you got some type of fingernail disease," you'd be like, "You ain't even a doctor. Shut up," right? Because since you're not in a lot of pain, you would spend more time researching before you took someone's advice.
Mhm.
But you got a son, daughter, grandkid, anything like that?
Nieces and nephews and godchildren.
Okay, nieces and nephews. What's your youngest niece or nephew?
2, they
Okay.
vary in age.
Okay. You got one that's like 7?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you fell down and you broke your foot and you knew it was broke, are you gonna ask your 7-year-old to go to medical school before they help you down the stairs into the car?
No.
No. When the pain is bad enough, you don't care who help you as long as they can help you. So at the beginning, we usually try to solve these ephemeral pains. It's cool, sounds good, it's a great idea. And it's almost as if we don't want to get the rejection. So we describe something that they can't even define. It's like, oh, let me think about it. That's interesting. Once you hear that, you dead. They ain't buying it. They say, that's interesting. Go pack up your suitcase. They ain't buying it. They ain't buying, that's interesting. Right? So, but that's what we're looking at. So even as like self-carepreneur, right? There's some very defined pains that a person wants to make go away, and they may not be using the same terminology you're using. Does that make sense? So that survey just helps you to find those pains in the words that they're using. So, any other questions before we shut it down, guys? Was this helpful for you, Seyron?
Of course, very helpful. And those survey will, of course, be different from each one of us because the type of the avatar or the type of the service we are providing is different from each other. So that survey, we just get an idea. I don't know if you post it or you send it.
No. I'm going to tell you. Yeah, no. That is, don't change anything on that survey. Don't you change nothing. You change the industry. Don't you change nothing else.
No.
I'm telling you, I know what people going to do. They go in and I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to take this question out. I don't like this question.
No. I was just asking because, as you know, the business either is going to be a product or a service. Either you're selling an app or you're selling a service, right?
Yep. So let me give you the best way to do that. I'm glad you brought that up. So what you could say is, hey, I'm thinking of starting a business around helping teachers, but I don't really know what issues you all are facing, right? So then I can just survey teachers based on based on their industry and their job title. Or I'm thinking about helping speakers, like what I showed there. Hey, I want to get more feedback from speakers. You see how I can be industry specific or I can be problem specific. I prefer to be industry specific because if I'm saying I'm going to be a coach, I've already defined how I'm going to solve the problem, but I may want to use software, or I may find out I should do a webinar, or I may write a book. But if I'm going to say I want to work with lawyers with my business, but I don't know what problems I'm solving for lawyers, that's the way that we do it. Lashana, nice to see you. I'm Ron from SpeakerHub. This is our regular call. You're welcome to come on in. I know we had a call set for 10 minutes ago, but we do this call every day. So good to see you. You want to introduce yourself? Tell us what you speak about. Lashana Stevens.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was on mute. My name is Lashana Stevens. Sorry, my camera is off. I just woke up. I work night shift. But I am getting started with a coach, and I speak on women's issues, and I'm also a mental health therapist.
Okay, cool.
I do a lot of mental health conferences.
Have you done speaking before? Or is this brand new?
I have done speaking before. I actually just came home 2 weeks ago from Idaho, speaking to over 300 people. So I'm just trying to take it to the next level.
High five. 300 is a lot of folks. The average person has spoken in front of about 70 people. So
Yeah.
to do 4 times that's a big deal. Were you paid for that speech?
I actually was. I was paid. This is one of my first like really paid engagements.
There it is. Even if they paid you $1, celebrate it, okay?
Yes, sir.
That's the worst you'll ever get paid, right? Like, today is the worst you'll ever be. So it only goes up. That's all you need to know. So you brought up something very specific. You said you currently have a coach. Why is that significant? Are they a speaker coach? Are they a speaker booking coach? What's the significance of mentioning the coach?
She is a speaker booking, like a speaker coach. I've
Okay.
worked with her before. And we just started like a 90-day challenge about, actually it started last week. So it'll go until May.
Okay. And how did you find SpeakerHub?
She told us about you guys.
Okay. What's her name? Is she one of our customers?
She is. Her name is Jessica Houston.
Jessica Houston.
Mm-hmm.
She's over at Pitch TV, I think. At least from what I remember. But okay, cool. I know the name. I don't remember the face, but cool. Jessica, thanks. High five to you. High five.
High five.
And Lashana, I'm not going to call you Lashana. Lashana, how can we help you?
I actually just wanted to she recommended you guys to us. So this introduction call is just kind of me getting some understanding of what all you guys do and how to use this to the best of my benefit.
Okay, cool. Let's see, Jessica Houston. She has a SpeakerHub package with this.
And she's been with you guys for quite a while, I think.
Yep. No, I totally know Jessica. No problem. One of the things that we do is we help speakers to get booked, right? And we do that through inbound and outbound. Does that make sense? So I'm going to share the screen with you here. So we use a system called the speaker flywheel, right? And that flywheel helps you to get inbound leads where the hosts basically reach out to you, but then outbound leads where you reach out to the stages you want to be on.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you were to think of your top 5 favorite speakers, how many of them have you heard speak live and in person?
Oh, not very many, maybe one.
Yep. And that's normal. That's why we use the flywheel, because all the top speakers, you hear them on podcasts, YouTube, see them speaking to small groups, big groups, read articles by them, read books that they've written. That's the flywheel. You got caught up in your favorite speaker's flywheel.
Gotcha.
So if you aspire to be like them, the best thing you can do is to do what they do, which is they're on podcasts, they're doing small groups, they're doing larger conferences, and they're producing media or getting in the media. Is that fair?
Yes.
So here's how we do this. We do this through something called inbound comes from a speaker page. So if I come over here and I go to Jessica Houston, I type her name in and bam. There she is, right? Is this her?
Yes, that is her.
Yeah. So this is her speaker page here, and this is how we help. But one of the things that Jessica, I don't think she uses this part. I'm gonna show it to you. Something we call SpeakerHub Pro.
Okay.
And SpeakerHub Pro is where we do outbound.
Okay.
Right? Outbound is basically where you can reach out to the 3.5 million podcasts, 209,000 associations, 170,000 media outlets, and 40,000 conferences.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So let me see if Jessica has one of these plans with us. Oh, there she is. Yep, she's in here.
Okay.
Yep. So Jessica is with us. I didn't know she had this, and I meet so many people. I apologize. So Jessica uses SpeakerHub in this way. Basically, tell me what you do in one sentence.
Okay. Me?
Yep.
Oh, I enrich people's lives through therapy, in person and virtual therapy, and also speaking to empower therapists and also individuals.
Right. So I'm just going to save that, and then I'm going to have our AI to write a bio for me as if I did what you do. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes.
Now it knows I don't do it, but it's still going to act like I did it for 5 seconds. Right. And give it a couple minutes. And come on. There it is. So now it basically would say, hey, I'm Ron Story, a dedicated speaker out of Medellin, Colombia. I'm passionately committed to enhancing lives through both in-person and virtual therapy. With a deep understanding of the human experience, my goal is to provide guidance and support that fosters personal growth and emotional well-being. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? So watch what happens. When I click on podcast, it's going to bring up the mental health and wellness podcast. You notice that I didn't even search for anything.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So if I wanted to go on Dr. Tommy Mitchell's podcast, I can click on it. I can listen to an episode, to see if I agree with what she's talking about and all of those things. And then if it's one I want to go on, I can just click add to a list and click pitch. Once I click pitch, it's going to go ahead and write the email for me that I should be sending to Dr. Tommy about being a guest on her show.
Okay.
And there it is.
Wow.
Look, no hands, right? I'm Ron Story, a passionate speaker dedicated to enriching lives through in-person and virtual therapy. I'm reaching out with enthusiasm to be a part of the Mental Health and Wellness Show, as your values on mental health or mental wellness strongly aligns with my mission for fostering emotional intelligence and personal transformation, right? And all I gotta do is send it, boom. That's it. That's what we do. Do that for podcasts. You do that for associations. We do that for conferences. We do it for media outlets.
Okay.
Once they respond, you can follow up with them. You can track all of your pitches. This is what we do. This is why Jessica uses us. And it's probably why you should too. So come on aboard. We got initiation tonight. You got to pay your chapter dues. No, I'm just playing. I'm joking. I'm joking. This ain't a fraternity. I'm just kidding. Any other questions for me or anyone else? Ange works with me as the head of operations at SpeakerHub. She manages the entire business, so I can just talk all the time. Bart and Ron and Sharon are clients of ours who was on our regular daily meeting that we do. So we figured we would let you ask whatever questions you have or introduce yourself or say, yeah, I got what I need. I'm out. We cool with that too. It's really up to you.
I think I got a good understanding. What's the next step?
Yep. The next step is I'm going to send you a Cash App request for $19 million.
Okay.
It need to be paid in nickels and pennies. Okay? I need it paid in
A
nickels
lot
and
of nickels and pennies.
That's it. It got to be nickels and pennies from the year 1996 for the pennies and the year 1978 for the nickels. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
And we're going to verify it. If you don't, $19 million in nickels and pennies.
And nickels and pennies.
Yep. So I need them delivered. What's your address, Bart? We need them delivered to Bart's house.
Bart's address.
MEDE.
Yeah, that's funny. He's gonna send you to Columbia. That's funny. So I'll reach out to you. I'm glad you hopped on the call. But I'll send you basically how you can become a part of it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys. It was so nice to meet you. Sorry I wasn't ready to have my camera on.
You're good. I mean,
all right.
Angela's note taker ain't got their camera on either, so you're good.
Okay. I don't usually do that, but I apologize.
Well, hey, we do this every day at 12 noon, 3 p.m., and 7 p.m.
Gotcha.
Eastern time. So
Okay.
you can hop in at any time, but I'll reach out to you with how you can go ahead and subscribe. I just don't want to put all that stuff on YouTube.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
All right,
Thank
guys. Good to see everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and end the 3 o'clock call with this, and then because I got maybe 15 minutes before my next call. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bart, what are you gonna say? Go ahead.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
had a tech thing I wanted to show you, but I can do another
Okay,
time.
no, show me. I'm here now.
Let me figure this out here. Trying to unmute it. No. So I'm trying to get this I'm trying to find this so I can archive it. You know, they responded and it's like the email address is invalid, but I can't find it.
So just put in HR in there.
Yeah, I did that. So part of it comes up if I do that, but not out. Let's see what happens. Okay, that might help. So these are one, but it's not the. So this is like an association where it was all the same thing, but just different chapters. Maybe I can
Gotcha.
find it. Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
There it is. Boom.
All right, appreciate it.
All right. Any other questions, guys? No. All right. Cool. I'll see you all later. I gotta get ready for my next meeting. Peace.
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.